What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm here to let you know that the struggle, I guess you can call it, to create my next army is indeed ongoing. I say struggle because it sucks that I can't get to a GW store, a Warhammer store, so I could get in there and get a freaking box of Eldar to start making my army. However, I've been doing a whole bunch of research to see how exactly I should get that army up and running, and I've come to an impasse. And I decided to talk to you guys down in the comments below to see what I should do. So that dilemma is choosing the actual, not just color scheme, but the whole theme for the army. When you're playing Eldar, there's a lot that you can do because you have Craftworld, you have the Aeldari, Harlequins, Dark Eldar, as well as I guess Craftworld Eldar? No, the ones that live on like dinosaurs and stuff like that, dinosaur planets. You have Rangers too, which are their own thing. But anyway, I've narrowed it down to playing. Well, I want to focus on playing Wraith units and jet bikes because the combination of elite tough units and fast mobile units that could take objectives and stuff like that seem really fun. And not just that, but I love the way that the Wraith constructs look. So going with that in mind, I was looking at all the craft worlds that would work with that, and I believe it's a Yandin that makes the most sense lore-wise why you would pick a Wraith army. However, with the lore, I was focusing on Ulthwe. Ulthwe is very interesting because for millennia, they were essentially the guardians over the Eye of Terror. They weren't very good because the Eye of Terror obviously has become the Cicatrix Maledictum. But anyway, because of them guarding the Eye of Terror, they're like really battle hardened, and although they lack numbers, they're very strong militaristically wise. And because of that, they also have a lot of Farseers that are used to be like a means, like they use their foresight to prevent things or to know when things are going to happen, so they're better equipped and tactically they can survive. And the cool thing about that is that they also have Eldrad, who at one point was their chief Farseer. However, there's been a lot that has happened since then, such as Eldrad not being tied to Ulthwe anymore, and I think he's dead, if I'm not mistaken. I think Eldrad either died or was exiled when he was trying to create the Inari, but then the Death Watch came in and stopped him. So that's another thing. However, if I do play the Ulthwe, that would give me access to using Eldrad as my warlord, and Eldrad is A++. This dude is a beast. He's probably the strongest psyker, lore-wise, and on the game. And that's really hard to combat. Now, I don't know if he's the strongest lore-wise. He might be like number 3 after the Emperor and Magnus, but still, Eldrad is a beast. Continuing on with the Ulthwe stuff, they have a really cool nickname for themselves. They're called the Damned because of all the attacks they get from chaos and stuff like that. Since they were guarding the Eye of Terror, they were really well equipped to combat chaos. So their main enemies are chaos, and that's really cool because once the Craftworld was able to move away from the Eye of Terror, they would send out essentially little strike teams to go out into the galaxy and take out chaotic threats, such as taking down the corrupt governors, helping the Grey Knights, helping the Tau Empire. Even the freaking Space Wolves were helped by these guys. And as awesome as that sounds, that not isn't always received friendly, because if the Eldar get a vision where a planetary governor is corrupt and they're slowly corrupting the planet, obviously they want to stop that because they don't want that planet to fall to chaos. So they'll send a strike team, usually some assassins. They'll kill the governor, and if they get caught, obviously they're going to look like the bad guys. Or sometimes they'll be like, hey, Imperium, we just, stopped a whole planet from falling to chaos. And the Imperium is going to be like, yeah, we don't believe you. you got better get off this planet or you're gonna die. So even though they're doing things with good intentions, they're always, I guess, on the wrong side of the law. I don't know. But that seems pretty cool because if they are sending these strike forces to various places and fighting chaos, that kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility in the structure of the army, lore-wise. So they would be more of like I said earlier, a strike force of hard-hitting wraith units and fast-moving jet bikes. Does that even make sense? If not, let me know how to change it. But another thing that really caught me to this is that they were very pinnacle during the creation of the Aeldari. Well, not the creation, but the creation and all that, because Eldred and the Aeldari came to Ulthwe and they're like, hey, we need you to join us. And because of that, a huge portion of their populace left Ulthwe and has now joined Eldred or the Aeldari. So their numbers are cut off, and that's why sometimes they have to go into the galaxy to make allies, as well as fighting off chaos. So that's another cool little inkling of lore that I really enjoyed about the Craftworld Ulthwe. And then the little cherry on top is that their color scheme is really badass. The whole black armor with the like bone highlights and a little bit of red in there looks really cool. I think no matter what, I'm gonna stick to that color scheme. It's just really cool because I know the yellows and blues, the reds and whites. It's a very bright army, especially for like Iyanden and stuff like that. But I want to play an army that's like bogged down. They're battle hardened. They've seen the dirtiness, the grim darkness of this galaxy, and they're trying to change that bit by bit. So having the dark color scheme, I think, would help represent that, at least on the tabletop. So yeah, black, white, and red is what I'm going to stick to. I'm not too keen on the bone color, like the tan, but I think the white really makes it pop. For the rules with Ulthwe, you get a universal 6+ feel no pain, which it's okay. I mean, Foresight of the Damned is what it's called, and it seems to work lore-wise, since they're all about using foresight to see what's coming. That 6+ feel no pain is essentially like them being better prepared, or knowing that, hey, this guy's gonna punch me in my stomach, I better move. Their warlord trait, the Fate Reader, it's a little gimmicky, mainly because at the beginning of every turn, you roll a d6, and on a 6-up, you get a command point. You may never even get this in a game. So, command points are good because you could use these stratagems to turn the tide of battle. But when it's not guaranteed, I don't know if it's a trait you should really focus on. But their stratagem is something that I probably won't be using too often, because it's mainly about their guardian squads. That's the other thing about Ulthwe too, is that their guardians are highly trained and pretty much better than all the other guardians, since guardians are usually like militia that are from the citizen, like citizen soldiers essentially. But since they're so good, they get a stratagem called Discipline of the Black Guardians. So they get a +1 on their to hit rolls for a single phase, whether that be shooting or in combat. So obviously if you're playing blobs of guardians, it's really good because now they hit better, whether you're stuck in combat or you're going to try to gun something down. But again, I don't think that's something that I'm going to be focusing too much on. Which, the next thing too, their Relic, the Ghost Helm. It's really good if you're playing a Psyker heavy list, because it gives you a +1 to be able to manifest Smite. So they're already really good at using psychic powers, but adding a +1 means that maybe your Smite can be upgraded to doing D6 damage instead of the D3 damage. So, another thing to keep in mind. But that's where I'm stuck. This seems like a good Craftworld, but it may not be the one that I want to, gameplay-wise stick to. Maybe lore-wise I can make it work, but on the battlefield, I probably won't be choosing that. So based on using Wraith units and jet bikes, what should I look into? Should I be creating my own craft world? Because there's a lot of abilities and stuff that you can choose to make it your own, and that seems good unless there's something else that's better. So can't wait to see your replies down in the comments below. And yeah, or should I just stick to the Aeldari instead of playing craft worlds? Let me know. And as always, this has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.